Well, hello, my fellow sensitive people. Hello, everybody. How's it hanging? Does everybody want to sing the song with me? Yes, no? Everybody want to sing the I Got It Right song? Just to annoy just to be as annoying as possible, right? It's such an annoying song, isn't it? I got it right. It's just so damn annoying. I think that's why I do it. I do it to just annoy the crap out of people. Done. Oh, you want me to sing it? Okay. I got it right. 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 Thank you, Miss Lindsay. Oh, Miss Lindsay, thank you for giving up Christmas and that beautiful party and that beautiful party dress in order to go down to Mar-a-Lago and convince that baby to sign that bill. You did very well for yourself, Lindsay. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder. How's everybody hanging? Is everybody okay? Is he going to resign? And the only thing left now at this point is, can the guy get a pardon from Pence? I guess that's all that's left, right? And us shaking our heads, asking ourselves, what did we just live through? Oh my God. But you know what? The good thing about this for me as a remote viewer is a lot of practice. I think we all got a lot of practice from this, right? That's the good thing, right? All right, so welcome. This is a very weird channel. This is the Oracle of Whimsy. It's entertainment, comedy, good people hanging out, drinking tea. I was going to do some passion flower and then see how I did remote viewing on passion flower, but I couldn't find the passion flower. I think I put it somewhere. So instead I made myself peppermint, which is a stimulant, which is probably a good thing because I'm a little tired. So here it is. Each plant is going to have a different effect on you as a reader. But when we're talking about plants like rosemary, peppermint, they give you a pick-me-up, but they're not stimulants in the traditional sense. They don't have caffeine in them. So if you are feeling like you need to be a little bit of a brainiac and you need your brain to be a little clear, peppermint, maybe throw a little a couple pieces of rosemary in there. Smelling rosemary, there's been some studies on cognition and the oil from rosemary. Peppermint too. And it's very tasty. All right. So be sure and share, like, subscribe, click the bell notification if you haven't already. I'm going to hang out with you folks until we all get so tired because I got nothing to do tonight other than celebrate that the bill was passed and that we are getting close to being free of this naughty boy. Let me give gratitude and say hi to everybody. Hi, Desrat. Is that how you say it? Desrat, hello. Fillarin, hello. Michelle Lynn, welcome. Ruby Moon's in the house. Kate. I sent you a card, Kate. Sending yours, I sent you Fillarin. Fillarin. Oh my God, I need your address again. I was supposed to send Fillarin I don't know if did I send you a card yet, Fillarin? Could you email your address if you haven't already? Thank you. Pammy Henson, hello. Good to see you. Michelle Lynn's in the house. Sharon Sadowski, hello. Susan Gray, welcome. Nalina Krishman. Oh, let's see. Got a lot of Susan Broshin is back. Welcome. So I'm going to keep saying hi to people as we go along. I try to acknowledge everybody. We're 592 people strong. Woohoo! My friends Eileen and Richard are here. Yay, yay, yay! How is Virginia Beach these days? What are you doing all over in Virginia Beach? That's what I'd like to know. Not that there's anything wrong with Virginia Beach, but Amy McCown, hello. Greeter TK, Michelle Taylor are here supporting, being good moderators, as is Dreamweavers, Douglas C. So we want to give gratitude to them. Sharon Lee is also, and Pierre Walker, Fillerin, of course. Thank you very much. So, what do y'all want to talk about? How do you like my slumber parties? Are they better than my brunches? Is everybody in? Does everybody have a snack? Let's get to the basics before we get to the down and dirty. Maybe we'll try doing some RV live. That'd be okay with me. You can all see me do a map. Would y'all like to see me do a map and do an RV live? That would be cool. I want in the next class to start showing people how to do mind maps as remote viewers. Thank you for loving my channel. What would you call this channel? I don't know. It's pretend. We tell you not to believe in any of it because we're scientists. I would say probably 50% of the people on right now are teachers or scientists. So don't believe. It's all entertainment. And, you know, that's what we say, right? Because we're scientists. Thank you, Diane. That's really sweet. Oh, I love the kitty. I love the kitty. Like my slumber. Woo-hoo! That's what I always tell people. Oh, you don't take this seriously, do you? They say, yeah, but you got it right. But no, we tell people this is just entertainment, and then we show people how to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I did a remote viewing on Trump Sunday. Y'all remember we were live Sunday? Did everybody here come to brunch Sunday? Because I didn't feel when I people say, well, where is Donald Trump? And to a remote viewer. And the thing I think that's horrifying for people that are not trained as heart-centered remote viewers is when I give them the bad news that he lives in your heart. He lives in your heart. He lives in your gut. He's not out there. He's in here if you're a remote viewer. So when you're always trying to find out what the target feels or thinks, I always say direct the question to the heart, direct the question to the gut, because if you're trying to communicate with your target, that's where you will find them. Congratulations on your retirement, Diane. Hi, Richard Anderson. Good to see you. It's okay, Dreamweaver. Good to see you. Thank you, Noel. Wow. You know, I don't usually come on at night, but I've been asked a couple times now if I would, because a lot of people work and they never get to do a live stream. And so if we do the slumber party, everybody gets to be in their comfy clothes. We can talk and hang and do whatever y'all like. I think we should do a simple prayer, bring everybody together. We'll try it. Maybe we should do another collective since we lost the last collective. I felt, oh my God, that was a nightmare. What do y'all want to do? You want to start with collective? Or just go straight to Blitzes? It's your decision. I'll go wherever you all want me to go. I'm your girl. Slumber parties too, Michelle Mabel. Did I get a message from you too? I wonder. Okay, let's just make fresh notes here. Collective and prayer and then collective. Okay, I'll write that down. So yeah, I was gonna say, oh yeah, we have to send special prayers to Marie's table because unfortunately she's running I think she might have COVID, so we need to send good prayers to her. think she might have COVID, so we need to send good prayers to her. Oh, Kripalu, lovely. There's some beautiful ashrams. And then there are also ashrams where, you know, you got to find the right, you know, the right balance. What I liked about the ashram that I stayed at was that it was just very peaceful. It was a very peaceful ashram. A lot of meditating going on. Congratulations on your retirement, Geek Hillbilly. Still buffering? Buffering a bit? Hopefully it will stop. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's do the prayer and we'll do a collective. Sound good? City yoga is good. Absolutely. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journey to make the best decisions for ourselves, for our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we have strife with. And together we say, Amen. We also want to send special prayers for the healing for Marie at Marie's table, along with her husband, that they receive a complete, perfect healing. And we send love and blessings to both of them. Amen. All right, let's go in. Let's do this. What does Spirit want us to know? Where we are at as a group. I just felt like a slumber party because I missed y'all, and because Miss Lindsey, you know, I've got to give street cred to her, right? You know, Miss Lindsey, she, you know, what we said, right? Enter stage left. So she did a good job. She got him to sign the bill. Okay, where we are at right now, new commitments, new relationships, new sacred contracts, and you know, just a new beginnings overall in terms of the types of relationships that we're creating. And you can see here a temperance card, sobriety. People are working on sobriety a lot in this group. That can be anything. I'll tell you what the main issue is for all of us. We can't stay away from the refrigerator. I get more cards of addiction lately about food than anything else. And I think it's that we're spending so much time, you know, holed up because of COVID. There's nothing to do but watch news, work, and a lot of, sometimes you get insomnia because if you're not exercising, you're not doing stuff, you know, you're not burning energy. So we eat, and we all got fat. Though I'm slimming down again, you know, I can tell my body is like pulling back on food a lot. Like, up. Oh, up. Looks like we lost our connection. Did you guys lose the connection? Oh. Are we back? I just saw that I buffered. So, temperance, it's about balance. It's about overcoming addiction and also the reasons why we become addicted. Then the base of the matter, new sacred contracts, new relationships. I gotta get some water. I'm having a hot flash. But new contracts, new relationships coming in for us. A lot of people are going to be experiencing romance, love. I'm getting some water. We got love coming, some of us. Whoa. Buffering? Oh, well. You do what you times it buffers. Ugh, having a hot flash. Hope nobody notices I'm not wearing my... Am I wearing a bra today? I can't remember. Hot flash. Okay. So love is on the horizon for people. Where we are at right now, the inability to let things go or the inability to, oh. This is the group's response to what's going on politically. Look at this. It's about anger and frustration about injustice. I think you look what we're sitting in. Yehudit. There's a lot of people really upset about what's going on with the political situation and with what's going on with, this is a group of anybody who would be attracted to this channel is someone that's so upset. I think we found each other for a reason. This is a group of people who tends to be, we're a bit nerdish, right? We're a little bit terrified of the current administration, just a little terrified. And in an act of desperation, we went on YouTube and found one another. So we've created a community in that respect, right? But Queen of, we share certain aspects. We found one another because we share certain aspects. And that's why I think it's easy for me to do these collectives. But the third house, as you know, is what we sit in and it's what we marinate in. And it's the Queen of Wands. And we always say her mantra is she seeks justice absolute, the absolute perfect justice, right? Complete balance. What is above us, feeling controlled or contained by red tape, bureaucracy, or we may sometimes feel that we are in a situation we placed ourselves in. You know what's interesting? People are always putting energy out. We're always putting energy out. A type of energy we're putting out, for example, is if we're looking for love and romance, we put that energy out. If we can't be bothered, we put out the energy that we're bored. And then we say, I never meet anyone. You never meet anyone because anyone would be looking in your direction, see somebody who's bored and disinterested, right? So it's an energy thing. You either, if you want to find love in your life, you're going to have to put some energy out. The past, rejected offers. Maybe we were at a point in our lives where we were very internalized, and so it had an impact on our social lives a little bit. Also, many of us were very focused on our careers, our business. Our minds were about our business. This is coming into the 6th house, the businesswoman. We're good in terms of getting our homes in order, but I think for many of the people in the group, they kind of felt like they had to hang up love a little bit. One of the things that's really come to me, awareness, as I meditate, pray, and work on my own ethics and being the best version of myself I can be, being true to a vow, because I know what it's like to be the victim of a person who says they're going to do something and then they don't do it. I know what it's like to be on the other end of a partner who's, you know, they're not being truthful, or et cetera, et cetera. And it's really gotten me to thinking, if we're trying to attract a partner that's a higher vibration, it's really important for us to look at our ethics, our values, and how we conduct ourselves. You know, do we respect ourselves? Do we respect the other person? If we're just hostile, angry, pissed off, I hate men, you wonder why men aren't calling. It's like, why would a man call you? This is opportunity with this type of card chart to really look at why we're where we're at, and how we can contribute to changing where we're at when it comes to love, intimacy, relationships, sacred contracts, the healthy relationship. What I like about this card as a sacred contract is the health. The symbol of health is at the base of the matter. I always think that that's pretty cool. I think a lot of us are really going to be focusing on our health this year, because it's interesting for 2021. I see a lot of people in the group joining gyms, getting healthy, cleaning up their diets, exercising. It's the end of strife also. A lot of people who had a lot of mental health challenges, stress, emotionally distressed, it will be eased. Biden has a psychological effect on the entire nation, in the sense that the strife is eased. The burden is eased when he comes in. It's a huge transformation for the entire nation. And then he is probably going to do the WAR Act. You can see here hopes and fears about the stimulus check, but you can see the final outcome for us is strength or health. We saw the worst of times, and now we will witness the birth of the best of times. This is birth. For those of us who are like a little bit older, we may not be able to live long enough to see how beautiful the world will become. But what's wonderful about it is that it's kind of becoming what Jane Goodall, you know, one of my mentors is Jane Goodall, one of the people I admire. She wrote the book, A Reason to Hope. That human beings are evolving, and so we will evolve. Because we're evolving, we will save ourselves, because, you know, we're smart. We will save ourselves. And so we're going to create a beautiful world, because human beings want to live, we want to thrive, and we want to have a beautiful life for ourselves and our families. And I agree with her. I think we are going to save ourselves, and we are saving ourselves, and we did save ourselves. You can see here the strife coming to the end. We understand the natural order. More and more people are becoming awakened, and they understand the natural order. If the mother sustains us and takes care of us, and if we're abusing and mistreating her, that doesn't bode well for the future of the planet. So we're getting it. The energy around the economic or the financial future. You can see. And then the final outcome, health, and many of us will be getting jobs. You can see the job opportunities moving in, and health as well was clarification. Great cards for us, but for us was an inverted justice card, and I think that just has to do with the president and the fact that the type of person that watches this channel, we're just more aware than most people about this administration. We're more bothered, I think, than the average person by this administration. So what do you think? What do you think of the collective? Well, you'll be getting a job, Susan. I know it keeps. I could try to another channel, but I'm worried that I would lose you guys. All right, I'm going to switch to another station. Hopefully you won't lose me. If you do, I don't know. Let's try it. How'd that do? I just switched us to a stronger network, theoretically. So, a lot of people. Some of you, there's a lot of funny comments. You're right. How could you not be political in these times? It's very true. All right. Much better. Okay, so the first question I had was about, have you guys been watching Michael Cohen? He's been on a lot. He's been doing a lot of interviews. It's been pretty funny. We just started. Yeah, let's check on Ivanka. Yes, we're going to get, I don't know if we're going to get the 2,000, but everybody here is going to be okay financially. And in 2021, they're going to be improving their health, working on their health. Happy New Year to you as well. Manifest Mindfully with Jenny Friedman. I appreciate the donation. Yes, Cohen's very entertaining these days. All right, let's do a 3-card. You know what's really interesting about Ivanka Trump? She is serious. She really is thinking about her. Thank you, Lee. She really is. Look at that. She's in the Samat. She's seriously thinking about running for Senate. Or remember I talked about governor. I had thought Donald Trump was going to run for governor, but she's thinking of running as governor of Florida or for the Senate. But the fact that the 4 of Swords is there, deep thought, deep thinking, it's like samadhi. She definitely a new beginning, possibly in spring for her. But to be honest with you, when you go into the energy for her, was she detained in New York? Is that true? I heard something about it, but I didn't find anything about it. Anyway, she put herself in a bad situation. The other thing I feel when I go into this energy is that in a way, Donald Trump is becoming her Achilles heel. Thank you, Desiree. That's really sweet of you. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that. And I like your little fox. Is that a cat or a fox? It looks like it is a kitty cat. It's interesting. I can't help but feel when I look at that card that Ivanka is, it's almost like she wants to have a powerful political future, but she's trying to get rid of her father. Like her father is dragging her down. She is aware that her father is a liability to her political future in some respects. Thank you, Judy Mellon. And I think the reason why is because his followers who are like crazy about these conspiracy theories, she actually is trying to get away from that. She's actually trying to become more legitimate. And that means trying to have nothing to do, or she will start to even separate from her own father. That's what I see. Where she's at in the future clarification, she's in deep, deep doo-doo. I didn't know somebody had said she was stopped in New York. I didn't find anything on the news. I don't know where people are hearing that, but look at this. I think that I would go ahead and predict with that her political career is probably going nowhere. You can see here the allegations. I still see multiple allegations starting. Instead of running for politics in spring, it looks like she's defending herself against multiple lawsuits, charges, etc. 7 of Wands can often be hit with multiple suits at once. The fact that the spring card came in would lead me to suspect that some of these charges, she could be facing charges or It could become quite public by spring of 2021. And then she has to go into a period of defending herself. She will go to court. She will legally defend herself. She will have a lawyer. But, hauling in the books, hauling in the evidence, she's right about her dad. Her dad has become a liability. That's what she thinks about her father. She thinks her father is a liability. To get something from my nose is running. So, wow. She never, I mean, I'm always amazed by the stuff that comes up. Thank you, Ruby Moon. That's kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, look at this. She's not going to go into politics. You guys were worried about that? Look, she's leaving it. That fantasy is going to get nipped in the bud really, really quickly. Instead, by spring of this year, she's stuck defending herself against multiple charges. And look at that, 5 of Pentacles moving in, fear of poverty. And also that can sometimes pertain a breakup, a divorce, a separation, exile, getting away from a situation or a person that drags you down. I'm telling you, she is trying to distance herself from her father. Isn't that harsh? That is very harsh. I still see her potentially, marriage, family, children, possibly another child. I keep seeing with her. I keep seeing there's a risk that her and her husband could get a divorce. She could move. Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion over her relationship with her father and also over her relationship with her husband. She could seriously contemplate, if she's not moving abroad, spending half the year abroad. I wouldn't be surprised if they bought a second home in the Middle East. If they haven't bought yet in Israel, they probably will. The cases against her are a mess. And she's going to have to, there could be more lawsuits against the Trump Tower, civil suits that are going to result in big financial losses. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. That's Ivanka Trump. Oh, thank you, Marie Wells. I'm doing my best. Thank you. Oh, the Saudi conference? Yeah. They are Israeli citizens, right? Jared and Ivanka are Israeli citizens, so they could legally move there tomorrow if they wanted to. But because all Jewish people are Israeli citizens by default. So that's definitely, with those types of cards, the fact that the world came in, the fact that she has 6 months worth of intense lawsuits that she's going to be hit with, she could seriously, with those cards and that world moving in, contemplate leaving the United States. Oh, really? I didn't know that about. So what am I doing next? I'm doing Jared next. Come on, I got my Israeli passport. It's like, it's kind of how it works. Okay. Look at Jared. Jared. There are people in DC that literally feel that they are driving Jared and his and his community out of there. It's a feeling that he was not, there were a lot of people in DC that really disliked Jared. And some of them were even in the Republican Party, but there's a feeling of wanting to take away his tools, take away his power, and get him to leave. It's like Five of Swords. He walks away, they take his swords away. There are people that are very anxious to see the backside of him. And for whatever reason, I know they blame him for a lot of the mistakes of the campaign because I guess the way that he arranged things, there was some criticism. So there's some resentments there for sure. The thing that I find so disturbing about him is they kind of sold themselves as being this incredibly religious, spiritual people. And it's like so many things they were doing. According to Jewish law, you're not allowed to behave like this. That's why it was just like, I don't know. Anyway, the reason I mention that is because Hierophant is here. The ethos, the belief systems that sustain or uphold this individual is going to be challenged. Thank you, Garbo99. And then he's going to be, there's a foolish mistake he made. He walks away from his job in DC. Oh, there's the presidency. There's the presidency. Regarding his faith or his religion, there's something here. I don't know what this is about. A hold or something. Yeah, the people that cry religion, religion, religion the most are the people who are often the least religious. I think he's going to get raided, or I think the feds are going in. I think they're going to wait until everybody's out, but the feds are going in. You can see here, very likely he's going to possibly either a raid or a police action coming in for him. Yeah, I think people don't realize just how much. See, that was what was really freaking me out as a remote viewer, because nobody was talking about it. And when I first started doing this 4 years ago, there was a lot of stuff people weren't talking about. And then I would go down into the altered states and I would see these things like, dealing with foreign governments, etc. And I thought, I have to be crazy. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Maybe I'm crazy. This can't be real. This can't be real. But I documented, and it was real. No wonder they think remote viewers are crazy, because sometimes you go in, you see stuff, and you go, that can't be real. Particularly in this case, I think for a lot of remote viewers, it's like, I can't be seeing this. This can't be real. And then it's crazy times we live in. Yeah. I keep getting it over and over and over again. For both Ivanka and Jared, this president and the way he's behaved is a freaking nightmare. Trump is the Achilles heel for both Jared and Ivanka to such an extent that they're looking at ways to distance themselves from him in the future. It's the sick relationship with the president walking away. Dang, look at those cards. Sick. Regarding his religious or ethical beliefs, I think he chooses family over Trump and the Republican Party, because the Four of Wands is moving in. They could pick up and leave and move to another country and completely abandon this guy. He does have some money that's been secured that they can't touch. I wonder if he's got money outside the country. Probably. The only way I can interpret this, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it again because I saw it twice, so we'll go ahead and document it tonight, 28th of December. We're going to see Jared and Ivanka trying to extract themselves from their relationship with Donald Trump. Yeah. He's a liability, and his reputation, his popularity, his behavior was so horrible, and it will be so infamous for so long that they have no choice but to try and go it alone and get away from this guy. Breaking the cycle, the getting away from the president, the sick relationship. Ivanka, pregnancy, always. She's trying to have another baby. She said a month ago that she had had a miscarriage after Duchess Meghan. She had, and that was actually something that came up in the cards, was that she was trying to have another baby. Wow. Interesting, huh? What y'all think? Does that? I don't know if that keeps people out. Does it keep? I don't think it keeps you out of jail, does it? Well, maybe she could do house arrest. Yeah, I felt fine when I connected with the energy. When I put myself in DT shoes Sunday. What was it? Sunday around noon. We documented that. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel upset. I felt like I had come to accept that it was over. I was at the point of acceptance. And from what we were able to access from the Akashic field, it looks like it's a go on these TV shows. So he's already off to the next race. So there might be prisons for pregnant women, but I don't know during the time of COVID maybe we'll have a vaccination. Everybody will get vaccinated by then. I think that's kind of weird, though, don't you? Like that you would want to get, Mark Burnett. Yeah, they're going to do something together. Yeah. All right, we'll look at the 2000 stimulus check to see if we're going to get it. I don't think we are, because Mitch McConnell cut the head off the beast. So if Mitch McConnell's cutting the head off the beast, how are we going to get the 2000 stimulus? But maybe they'll override him. I don't think so, though. We'll get the 2000 stimulus. Geek. Probably not the $2,000 stimulus, no. The discussion happening, right? The Sun, Mitch McConnell cutting the head off the beast, leaving the broken man. And how do you cut the head off the beast? You bring Sir Lancelot, right? What does Sir Lancelot do? He's a frightened knight, right? We always talk about Mitch McConnell as the frightened knight, but what does he do? He must do it, right? He must do it. He has to cut the head off the GOP, the head being the President Trump, and that is precisely where we find ourselves, and that's what Mitch McConnell. Like I said, nobody changed. And that causes a lot of heart-centered. People that become heart-centered remote viewers are very sensitive, compassionate people. They're very empathetic. You couldn't be that kind of remote viewer if you didn't have empathy. And so it is kind of depressing that absolutely nothing changed whatsoever. Mitch McConnell did exactly what he was going to do all along. Lindsey Graham was sent exactly like he was going to all along. Nothing changed. And they're the same horrible, rotten people they always are and will always be, unfortunately. And that's really depressing. No, I don't. No, I think they're going to try and sabotage it. It created a lot of problems for Mitch McConnell. It's a headache, literally. No, they're moving on from the stimulus. I'd be very surprised. But there is a world card there, which is optimism. I don't see it happening, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be surprised. I will take a quick look at Mitch McConnell just now. Mitch cuts the head off the beast. Remember when I did the remote viewing to follow the energy to the end of the presidency, and then we saw Mitch McConnell as the frightened knight. He would have inevitably cut the head off the beast. He would reject Trump, that they would have a falling out, and then Lindsey Graham would be the one that would have to tell him it's over. And so that's Mitch McConnell's job or archetype. I mean, was it you, Fillerin, that was talking to me about how these archetypes come around over and over and over again? Was that you? And there's an aspect, I think, to readers where we see certain archetypes and go, oh, I recognize this archetype. That was something that Carl Jung talked about because Carl Jung was learning about remote viewing. He didn't call it remote viewing, he called it telepathy, because he was studying with the Hopi and other tribes that were doing telepathy. He called it telepathy. So I'll just check on Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is going to retire from the Senate early. He's going to put another man in charge. He's retiring. He's not going to stay in the Senate. He can't complete his term. In fact, he might not even be able to complete one more year. He's gone in a year. Another man takes over, possibly a fire sign, a good man. He's the man I saw in the future within 1 year. Mitch McConnell will retire. He gives it, somebody else becomes speaker, probably a fire sign male. Mitch McConnell's leaving. Oh, I didn't expect that. I can't see him going 3 years, but between one, I'll say conservatively between 1 and 3 years, but the cards are saying 1 year. Let's check and see if the GOP's get. I still think that the GOP is going to pull it off and be the majority in the Senate. But I don't think it's going to matter. Because it's not the same Republican Party it's not the same Republican Party because the head of the Republican Party has been chopped off by Mitch McConnell. I don't know, Merck. I think they may have to replace him with another Republican. All right. I'm just going to ask for what does the Senate look like in 2021? They're very, very worried about the money. What the Republicans are saying here is that we are in a serious financial crisis, and they're worried about literally some type of a bankruptcy. They're very worried about the money, and it's not just about greed. They're really worried that that the Fed is in trouble. It partly has to do with the fact that we not only have to forgive loans, but our foreign relationships, everyone has COVID. This is our international relationships. This is us watching our money abroad. In terms of the Senate, look at this, 3 of Swords. That has me worried, heartbreak. A lot of this heartbreak looks like it has to do with what's going on internationally. Yeah. Internationally, look at this, travel, the money, and also international ties. I think Ossoff might win. I think Ossoff might win. Just want to throw one more time on Ossoff because his cards were I was surprised. His energy is starting to become aligned. His vibration and the Senate's vibration are starting to come together. I feel vibrations, right? For example, I feel the vibration of Donald Trump. When he produces something, you can feel the energy on it. If he wears a piece of clothing, you can feel his energy on it. If I go into Donald Trump's energy and then now sit in the energy of the solid structure Mar-a-Lago is not owned by this guy because you can physically feel energetically it's not the same energy. Mar-a-Lago appears to be owned by a foreign government, possibly China. It's owned by banks, overseas banks that loaned money to keep it open. It might be publicly looking like Trump's property, but energetically, this doesn't even feel like a person. This feels like a country or institution. Because feel the 2 energies and see if you don't feel what I'm talking about doing RV. Sit with it in your gut. His energy, use his energy to get the scent, like how I feel in my gut when I'm in his energy, how I feel in my gut, in my heart when I abide with him. Now go abide with the energy of the owner of Mar-a-Lago. It's not the same energy. It's like, what the hell is this? This is not the energy I was just in. So that's why I think that Mar-a-Lago isn't even owned by Donald Trump. But that's how you can do it. People wanted to know, how do you catch a scent? A scent, basically, if you're talking about heart center remote viewer, is the sensations in your body are very distinct when you think about Donald Trump. For example, I get a little overheated. The physical sensation, like, oh my God, my head's, it's work to deal with someone who has a personality disorder, right? So you expect to find that same energy when you go into the structure, and instead you find, oh, who are you? Just a very different energy. He has a private home near Mar-a-Lago that he does own. It's kind of like a governor's mansion across the street from the property, and that's where he and Melania will probably stay. Oh, it's Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank holds the loan, but then who loaned? Then a foreign government must have given the loan that was held by. I didn't know that. Tight stuff. Yeah, right. So what I want you to do if you're training as a heart-centered remote viewer, you're not going out there. Everyone's like, how do I connect to this person? By going in. Because whether we like it or not, our humanity connects us, and we don't have to go anywhere to connect with another person. You simply have to connect with your own heart and your own gut and the sensations that you're responding to when you're in the energy of the target. And that gives you plenty of information, because as empaths, you're feeling emotions that aren't yours anyway, half the time. That's why empaths have to spend so much time alone, because we get overwhelmed easily. Oh, a lollipop. That sounds lovely. They tried to sell his debt, no takers. Oh my God, there's so much crazy stuff going on. There you go, Baltic Mirror. Well, Barr is interesting. Barr reported that they were trying to bribe him to get pardons, and then Barr was gone. Remember, it goes back to the remote where Barr wouldn't be able to save him after a while. There would come a point when he would have to just... So let's, you guys want to hit something else? Is there somewhere else you guys want me to go? Or do you just want to hang out and talk baseball? Who's your favorite team? We don't have a league. We don't have a major league in Portland. But I love the Dodgers. Dodgers is my National League. You got pick one from the National League, one from the American. So I'll go National League. I'll go. Let's see what I do. National League. I'll go with Dodgers. American League. I'll go with Seattle Mariners. Do they even exist anymore? Seattle Mariners were doing so great, and then they just fell apart. I like the Red Sox. I like the Red Sox a lot. Lakers are basketball, but they're cool. I've seen a few games of Lakers. Chicago White Sox, awesome. Ellen DeGeneres. Yes, we can look at the future of Ellen DeGeneres. Let's see about Ellen DeGeneres. She had a cute show on. I love Seattle too. Now that I'm here, half my friends are in Seattle. I'm like, now why did I move here when all my friends moved to Seattle? So I'm thinking packing up and moving again. My friends are like, no, we're in Seattle. I can't afford Seattle, though. I mean, my God, talk about expensive real estate. Jeez Louise. All right. Yeah, she did, didn't she? Ellen DeGeneres. It's kind of nice not to do politics. We should do something fun. Oh, Lori Loughlin. You know, I was thinking about Lori Loughlin. Do you remember how many people are old timers when that first broke and people said, could you go down and could you try and get some information? Do you all remember that? And I went into a remote about the whole Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, and I went down into the remote and I said, okay, does anybody want to talk to me? Y'all remember what happened? It was so funny. Does everybody remember that? It was awesome. It was awesome. Felicity Huffman. She's like, I'll talk. Oh my God. Do you remember that? And Felicity Huffman, she not only talked, she wouldn't stop talking. It was just like, okay. All right. I'm going to tell everybody who Felicity Huffman is. Flicker. She was just like, well, I've always been like this. I've always been a people pleaser. I've always, I do the best surprise birthday parties. No, I can do this. I can make it perfect. I'm your perfect friend. I'm a people pleaser. I can fix everything. I've always been like this ever since I was a little girl. I mean, she was just going on. It was just like, I was like, okay, I'll tell thank you, Flicker and Felicity, and I'll go back and tell everybody. So it's kind of cool though, because she was the first to go before the judge. And I did it all. I've always been a people pleaser. And she was just saying, it's like, yeah, that's what she said to us. So it was kind of like, that was kind of like very funny when that happened. But yeah, so we can look at, but wasn't that funny? Y'all remember that? And then, and then we got it right. So what was going to be the punishment? She was going to have to do community service, jail time, and she was going to have to pay a fee. And that's exactly what happened. She was so good. That's the perfect target. She is an example of a perfect target, Felicity Huffman. Somebody that just runs to talk to you, and then won't stop talking. It's like, but I kind of could relate to Felicity Huff. Yes, she was very hyperactive. Oh, do you remember what she said? She said, I'm mortified. That was the words she used. I was like, how do you feel about what you did? I'm mortified. I can't believe I did that. I'm mortified. I've always been a people pleaser. It's just like, she just wanted to fix it. She just wants to make everything right. I was like, well, I guess I can kind of relate to that. Like, I guess I have that side of me too. But she kind of takes it a little farther than most of us. Ellen DeGeneres, she has strong friendships. She's very good at production. She's probably going to be actually expanding her production ideas, possibly even funding movies, TVs, other programs. She really actually has strong cards and still has good friends. I got something in my eye. Got something in my eye. Good friends still supporting her in LA, but look at this. Something's going on. She's going to be okay financial. I think she'll probably get into more producing. Strong alliances. I think it's. Do you guys ever get sunscreen in your eyes? I put some sunscreen on today. I think that's what's in my eyes. It's really hated. It burns. Really irritating. Something's going on in her business stuff that's really weird. She's going to be okay. Ellen's going to be okay, but I think she's going to move on to producing other things beyond this show. And I think there's also a feeling here when you go into it that maybe it's the time to step back a little bit as a performer and, let younger people go into that area. She's going to pull back and maybe be more of a producer. So that's the direction and producing several things. We're going to be seeing a lot more Ellen DeGeneres production stuff and a little bit less public stuff. But that's okay. We all grow, right? So. Oh, I need to get something for my nose. Yeah, we should do a New Year's. I wonder if Sheila or any of the other readers want to get together with me. Maybe we'll do a party. Yeah, that was great. So I really am glad. I really liked working with. I really liked having the opportunity to remote view Felicity Huffman, because it's usually not that easy. I don't want people to think it's always that easy. That was an incredibly easy remote, because when the target is desperate to talk, then your job is very easy. Another example would be Michael Cohen, right? Why was it so? Why did we get? I mean, it was like reading a newspaper. I'm like, damn, I can't believe how much access I'm getting here. It's like, this is really good for me. And I think, he's now wearing a sweater that says "My Culpa," and that's really, I think, at the heart of it is when somebody is like Felicity Huffman said, "I'm mortified," right? Or when Michael Cohen says "My culpa." When you have that kind of energy, right? If the suspect or the subject, excuse me, the target is that emotional, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get in, because you're going through your heart, through your gut, through your emotions to connect with their emotions. Yeah, so Ellen's going to be okay, but yeah, I think that she saw it philosophically to some extent, that maybe now she's at a certain age where she wants to just step back a little bit, and that's okay. That's what Henry Winkler did also. You get to a point, you've acted and you've done certain things, you just kind of want to move in a different direction. Seems to be what's happening. All right, Lori Loughlin. I think it's telling that she's not the one that came in when we did the remote. She didn't show up. I couldn't make contact. It's like, she's not the one. It was Felicity. And then that's exactly, Felicity was, this is somebody who didn't want to own their actions. Night, night, Susan. Sweet dreams. Yeah, my culpa, right? So that's going to help you as a remote viewer. If somebody desperately needs to unburden themselves, then you're going to be like, I'll go in. Pick me. I'll go in. Because it's easy. What's hard is somebody like Barr. No, I don't want to talk to you. That's really, if somebody doesn't want to get read, there has to be the person on some level has to want, somebody asks, what about invasiveness? On some level, the person must want to be read. It's like Lindsey Graham. On some level, he must not care that people know about his private life. Because why would he present so openly? On some level, he must feel he has some protection or immunity. I don't feel any remorse from Lori Loughlin. In fact, I also suspect possible drug or alcohol abuse. You can see this here. And then the moon card. This can often be a drug addiction, codependency. She's got problems that Felicity Huffman doesn't have. Felicity Huffman has a solid marriage. She's a good person, but she's obsessed with trying to make people like her. And she's very codependent, and she's constantly trying to fix things. That's not this. When you look at Lori Loughlin, it almost looks more sociopathic, personality disorder, addiction. And now she's getting a new opportunity. I think she just got released from prison. See, I see her writing a book, and I see her marriage might not survive. Look at that. I think she's going to start doing something, possibly writing or talking about it. She has some kind of an opportunity coming up here. New partnerships, new relationships. She's probably going to get a divorce and marry somebody else as a result of this. Interesting. Yeah, I love William Macy. God, it would be rough to be married to somebody like that. How would you calm that? See, that's also a type of personality disorder, but it's a different type of personality disorder. It's love me, love me, love me. Everybody has to love me. That's Felicity Huffman. I can do I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Love me, love me. I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it. It's this obsessive need when you go into the energy. You know, if I were hired by a company to go in and profile her as a heart-centered remote viewer, that's what I would say. This is a people pleaser who will do anything and everything in order to fix it. And unfortunately, for her, that's what landed her in jail. In the case of Lori Loughlin, this looks more like drug alcohol abuse, personality disorder, and possibly antisocial traits. So it's a very different person. Yeah. But you can't help but love her, right? You can't help but look at somebody like Felicity Huffman and say, you know what? You need to just calm down or something. But it's poor choices by somebody who was trying to help. All actors, yeah. I was married to an actor. So he wasn't like that, but we went to a lot of events, and I got to be around a lot of actors, and some of them were really quite nice. A lot of the female actresses I met were the sweetest people and very professional. Like I actually, the most of the famous actresses I met in Hollywood, I liked them as people. And the male actors too. A lot of the male actors were really nice. Once in a while you would meet a jerk. But I think they're just very sensitive, very vulnerable. That was the impression I got. Okay, so what were we doing next? Who's Claudine Longette? Oh, the January 6th showdown. Didn't you already ask me about that? Did I not do that? Okay. January 6th. What's happening January 6th? Is that when they seal it in Congress? Okay, let's look. The Nashville bombing. Yes. He said something to us. Oh, that's right. That was the thing that came up, was that what I'm seeing with these bombings is usually men over the age of 60. When I went in and I did my map, I had the target and then I did the map. It looks like we're seeing with the bomber in Tennessee, the guy that opened fire on people in Las Vegas, and the guy that opened fire on people in at the congressional baseball. Similar kind of mental health patterns, except that the guy, the bomber in Tennessee, didn't want to hurt anybody. He was a bomb. He didn't know how to make explosive stuff, but because I saw facets energetically that was similar between these three men, this was starting to look a lot like Lewy body dementia when I went into the targets, and possibly an adverse reaction to medication. So there's something going on, like possibly mental decline. And he does have a past history of drug use, the guy in Tennessee, and possibly fear of 5G and 8. There was something like that also that came up. But this looks to me a lot like mental decline and possibly an adverse drug reaction. You know, what was interesting when I did a remote view on the shooter in Vegas, the first time I went down and connected with his energy, it was like he was sitting in a room by himself after he had died, and it was complete flat effect, just waiting. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Like no emotion whatsoever. And it just leads me to suspect some type of a mental decline or dementia of some type. That's how it looked. And something was some type of mental decline also with the man in Tennessee and the guy who attacked the congressman with the baseballs. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Primordial meow. So I'm the lonely on there, but you're in. Yes, gabapentin is highly addictive. It, like a benzodiazepine or anything that increases GABA in the brain. You can take phenylbutyrol. You can do the precursors, which are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, and they're less addictive. But what happens is that alcohol raises dopamine, right? It's it's addictive because of what we call the dopamine mesolimbic system of the brain. But in addition to that, it also raises GABA. So that's the story with gabapentin. No, he wasn't a decoy. I think he was someone that genuinely didn't want to hurt anybody, the first remote we did was the guy had said in the remote, if I had wanted to hurt people, I could have, because I have enough training to know how to do that. So I thought, okay, maybe he's militia. He had explosives permit because of some type of work he was doing. I guess it expired like in 1990, whatever. That goes back to the whole thing, Hope Green, of the difference when a remote viewer follows energy. If somebody has an emotional connections to somebody, and then there's streams of energy going back and forth between them and the other individual, it's a different energy than a gross physical place. If somebody is asking you as a remote viewer, go find the connection, and you don't know the difference between, am I picking up a connection that's a physical location or an emotional connection? For me, I can only tell, because everyone's brain is different. For me personally, if it's a physical location, like when I found the physical location of the bomber in Tennessee, people had asked me to find the physical location. I found it in Southeast Tennessee. I put the map up, and he was near an area which is, what was the name of that place? The neighborhood in Southeast Nashville. So, what's it called? It's not called Attica. It's called, what was the name of that neighborhood? Antioch. Yeah. He was slightly southeast in Antioch. Yeah. Yeah, Antioch. So if you go back, it's taped. We try to document. And also scientists like you to document so that we can try and understand how it works. I give the breakdown of, Sheila thought I had fallen asleep because I was like this I didn't fall asleep. I was trying to remote view I was trying to do my map. But yeah, I saw him in the Southeast. And then when I looked it up, it was Antioch. And yeah, so then we documented, and that was kind of cool. Yeah, suburb of Nashville. He was slightly more southeast of that then, though. January 6th. Well, they're going to have their little show, and I can tell you that Mitch McConnell's not happy about it, but he can't control the House. He can only control the Senate. Yeah, they're going to have a little bit of a temper tantrum. It's not going to get very far trying to block it. It'll go through. It'll pass, but trying to stop Biden. But then complete confusion, too. Look at how out of touch with reality. Total moon, but then put behind Queen of Swords. I don't think Mitch McConnell's going to be happy with them. Oh, my goodness. So anybody see anything good on Netflix? I haven't seen anything good since The Queen's Gambit, but I did see Ethos, which is a Turkish TV show. I thought it was really sweet. So I watched Ethos. That was good. I made the mistake of calling the movie The Big Short Moneyball. Moneyball and Big Short were both written by Michael Lewis, the author, the writer who wrote the book. I was thinking of The Big Short, was the one about the guy with Asperger's. Yeah, Kathy. I've seen some really scary behavior in in patients that have been Alzheimer's, but specifically with the Lewy body dementia, I get some. It's more scary than Alzheimer's because it's affecting a part of the brain that is involved in dopamine production and. It's very scary. And then you give medications which can increase the dopamine, and that's when things get very, very strange. If a patient has Parkinson's or Lewy body dementia, and they're given L-Dopa or some other medication that boosts the dopamine too high, there can be some really bizarre side effects. Yes, Robin Williams committed suicide. So that kind of behavior, particularly in somebody over 60, comes out of the blue. Neuroscience was my favorite subject in med school. I'm really interested in neuroscience. So it's just me as a doctor, where I go in my head when I see that kind of behavior in a 60 plus male, that's where I'm going, is something like Lewy body dementia and maybe an adverse reaction to some kind of medication. Because they're not emotionally stable, and a lot of the time they don't know what they're doing. And a lot of people believe that Robin Williams didn't know what he was doing. He was on certain medications and may not have been completely aware of what he was doing. It's really a terrifying disease. And if you look at the remote view of the gentleman out of Las Vegas who did the killing, energetically, I don't think he even knew why he did what he did. He simply was compelled and couldn't stop himself. And he was having nightmares for 2 months, and possibly it was an adverse reaction to the medications. It wasn't made public, but there was evidence that might have been a factor. And it's just very scary because if we don't document those kinds of reactions to these kinds of mental health challenges, it's going to keep repeating itself. And that's really, really terrifying. It's very terrifying. Dub girl. There have been other strange reactions to some of these medications in people with Parkinson's, Lewy body dementia. One side effect has been that people get overwhelmed by irrational confidence, and then they drive down to Las Vegas and they gamble away everything, including their house, because they're convinced while on these medications that they're invincible and that they're going to live forever and that they're going to be a millionaire. So a lot of people have also had side effects where they became so irrational from the medications that they didn't kill people, they just gambled away everything they had. I think your brain isn't working right, Bori Snow, when you have a condition like that. The dopamine does a couple things in the brain. It's a stimulant, it's an antidepressant. In high amounts, it makes you think that you can do anything. That's why people who have low self-esteem feel great on cocaine, because cocaine binds to receptor sites in the dopamine mesolimbic system of the brain. And actually, long-term cocaine addiction is associated with increased risk for Lewy body dementia, because of, they think, the damage that these drugs can do on that part of the brain. Talk a little medicine. Have a little tarot. Yeah. I was thinking about it earlier today, like, because I went through this period this year where it's like I just wanted to take a year off from being a full-time doctor and just playing with the cards and kind of goofing off. And then the last couple of days, I thought, what am I doing? I worked so hard to be a doctor. I need to snap out of this. But that was kind of how I dealt with COVID, was like, I got so depressed because of what happened with the business and everything. And so you're just like, well, I'll just play cards. And what the hell am I doing? You know, like, I think COVID had such a dramatic effect on everybody mentally. It's just like, it's been really crazy. I would be worried about Lewy body dementia with Donald Trump because of the class of medications he's used and abused. Yeah, the Trump's voters that tried to steal. What about dried hibiscus tea? It's loaded with antioxidants and it's good for the heart. Will there be medical consequences? It's a medicine. You know, a lot of people think it should be a controlled substance because not everybody should be smoking marijuana. Also, it's hard on your lungs. Think about that. But, you know, like anything, you can overdo it. It's also important to take fast. If you're a remote viewer and that's your medicine, you might want to take, it's important to take fast from those types of medicines because, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why that's a really strong medicine. I would prefer people start with a little chamomile tea. Unless your doctor prescribes it. You know, if you have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, it helped me a lot. Now, though, I don't do anything. But, you know, if you're going through some rough times, like a divorce or something like that, it can be helpful. Edible is very good if you're remote viewing because the chemical found in edible marijuana does put you straight through the rabbit hole. That I found out when I was doing marijuana. Yeah, edibles, Pam J. If you're a remote viewer, that is actually, when I was first learning, I would do I would take the edible. It takes like 2 hours for that stuff. I would clean my house, I would chant, and I would do the mantras so that when it would hit, I would be able to go, because it opens your fourth chakra. And if you're trying to do heart work, and if you're blocked, and you're just feeling closed, like I don't feel anything. That's why remote viewers will take it. Marijuana butter. Yeah, I've heard of that. You can make cookies and things with it. I don't know. I think all of that stuff makes you. I mean, like, I'm really sensitive. I to everything. So I can't drink alcohol. It upsets my stomach. And if I do too much marijuana, it just makes me spaced out. I don't like that feeling either. And I can't drink too much coffee. It makes me nervous. I'm just a very boring person. Where did I learn to RV? I learned to RV. The first interest I got in RV, I was interested in being a reader when I was a kid. My mother was a reader. She was an astrologer. And my mother was also extremely psychic. So I kind of grew up in that environment. And then I started reading about other remote viewers. And then I read Silva Mind Control, which is a lot. You can get a lot from that. And then I started studying core energetics. I started studying different types of Buddhist technique, bond technique. And then I started coalescing data. I got a degree in anthropology and started studying medical anthropology. This is before medical school. Then I went to medical school. And over the years, as an anthropologist, studying different cultures and how different cultures remote view and trance. I'm really interested in the trance state, how different cultures enter trance, engage in telepathy. Carl Jung's research on the collective mind, telepathy. And I just did it over and over. Well, and then I was a tarot reader for 20 something years at least. You just do it over and over and over and over again. The five steps over and over and over and over again. And then you just keep testing yourself. And if you screw up, you try to figure out, how did I screw up? Why did I screw up? Was I biased? Why was I biased? Why couldn't I just read it? Is that what I think? Or is that, because sometimes I'll get information and I won't trust myself because you'll get a remote view or you'll get a hit and you'll be a little baffled. Like the best example would be on Sunday when people said, Trump is mad, he's yelling, and he doesn't want to sign the bill. And then I checked with my own heart, because you connect to your target by feeling your own emotions as you sit in the skin, in the heart of the other individual. And I wasn't particularly upset as Donald Trump. I felt like the marriage was over. The relationship between me and the GOP was over. My presidency is over. I accept that now. And it's not so bad now because I already see the future and I already see these great opportunities ahead for me. The only thing I'm concerned about as Donald Trump is those federal charges. And I want to make sure through Lady G, who's the Trump whisperer, right? Lady Lindsey, that all my demands are met before I leave. I can handle the state charges. That's how he feels. I can handle the state. I can avoid being forced to go to New York. I can handle that. It's the federal I want to have taken care of. So in his mind, this is how he's thinking. In Lindsey Graham's mind, that's a whole other conversation. Why did Lindsey Graham do this to himself? Why did he put himself in this position where he was going to have to be the person to negotiate? I would not have wanted to be Lindsey Graham in that situation. It doesn't upset your stomach all day, like it all just upsets my. I'm so sensitive. I can't. Water. I think the more you guys start remote viewing and the more sensitive you get and the more meditating, I can't eat. You become. I can't eat meat anymore. You can't do alcohol. You can't do meat. It's not because you're punishing. It starts off like that. You try to get disciplined. But you get to a point where you can't put stuff like that in your body. You get to be too sensitive. I have to just eat clean and yeah. Okay, so Lindsey Graham. Oh, no, Pam. Don't be scared. I see dead people and it doesn't bother me. Oh, come on, Dreamweaver. Join the party. It's fun. Okay, what are we doing here? Lindsey Graham is going to end his relationship with President Trump as soon as he completes his obligations to this president. You know, does he have any genuine friendships? Look at what he did to Biden. He just stabbed him in the back for power and then went chasing after this lunatic. Now look what's coming in, cutting the head off the beast, right? He's finishing this up because he has to, right? Because that's his job. He doesn't have a future relationship with Donald Trump. And he moves on. He tolerated Trump because he had to tolerate Trump, because for his own interest. There's a new sheriff in town. God, how embarrassing to have to deal with Biden. See, he's got a new. He moves on from Trump, and there's the new beginning. A lot of stuff is going on. Spring of 2021. It's just slammed with work. That production act. I mean, it's just like a Dr. Seuss movie or something. Like it's just like all the production is happening. I always see this like huge. Just money and work and just it's like it's really going to be very, very good. But you can see here close there's a lot of truths coming out about this administration, about Trump, and the fact that Lindsey is nowhere to be found, Two of Swords, when I think that's to be expected. He's going to keep his head down, moves on, focusing on the money, the prize, the precious, right? Trying to get close to the precious. He's putting his head down, doing his job. He's facing a potential censor in the Senate. He is under investigation. Looking at what was hidden information, that he was possibly engaging in questionable behavior. Yeah, he's going to be looked at. He may be asked, when this is all said and done, Biden may ask him to, he may be asked to leave the Senate, both by the Senate and by the president. That conversation is very likely. He really, really is in trouble. It's very serious. This is not going to be forgotten that he attempted to, he may have to leave. We could see the end of his career in the Senate because he's facing censor and possibly more. It's very foolish. It's weird, I see Lindsey Graham leaving early and I see Mitch McConnell leaving early. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Do I eat eggs? Yes, I am an ovo-lacto vegetarian. The Dalai Lama eats meat. I am better than the Dalai Lama. I do eat eggs because I don't do well on eggs. I have a sensitivity to those also. Medical anthropology is way cool. You get to travel all over the world and see how people heal and help each other. Get to study different techniques of medicine, spiritual healings, shamans. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to Central America, China. I've been all over the world. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to travel the world and see how people heal each other and help one another and alleviate suffering. Some people eat meat. Some people don't. It's your own personal journey. I believe it's a private thing. I don't have an issue. If people eat meat, they eat meat. They don't, they don't. It's something you got to work out for yourself. I really liked the advice that my rabbis gave me about that in Israel. When I was living in Israel, some people had gone vegetarian. A lot of Kabbalists become vegetarian. And my rabbi's response was just that this is a very, very private thing, and that we don't judge what someone else needs to do for their health. But it's you do what you do, you know. There you go. And we all search our conscience, and then we look at our situation, and then we search our heart, and then we come to the best decision we can. I could be a vegan, but I'm not willing to do that right now. This is what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to be an ovo-lacto vegetarian. So. Yeah, it's very private. The rabbi's right. These are very private things. We don't even talk about. In some kibbutzes, we don't discuss, it's like they put food on the table in the kibbutz. They try to have enough food there for the vegans and vegetarians, and then there's meat there for the meat eaters. And you're either going to tear, on a kibbutz, you would kill each other after the first day. So you have to learn to live with each other. Not everyone's going to be eating the same on kibbutz, right? So it goes back to this idea of live and let live, as long as everybody's body is, because some people, like the Dalai Lama's doctor, said absolutely not. You can't be a vegetarian. You're anemic. You're pre-diabetic. He had all these health problems because he was trying to eat that. He got very sick, and his doctor said, "You can't be on that diet. You're not absorbing the protein. You're not." He had a lot of health problems, and so the Dalai Lama went back to eating meat. So again, it goes back to that idea of it's a personal journey, and you're just going to have to work it out for yourself, like you and your doctor, your conscience, your doctor, etc. Oh, thank you, Snagglepush. All right, let's have some fun with something that's not politics. Let's play. Does anybody want to play? The applesauce trick. You're right, Kathy. We used to give that a lot to seniors that couldn't swallow the pills. Yes, I do. I got diagnosed. Thank God it's not my lungs. I was getting nervous. You guys were freaking me out. My lung saturation, the doctor says you have very healthy lungs, was 100%. I have an air filter now. I have a mold allergy. I just have to keep my HEPA filter on and dust. And they think I also I've developed a sensitivity to my cat's hair and dander, unfortunately. But I'm not coughing now, am I? I'm doing pretty good. I've got the air filter on. So it's okay. Oh, you can get a HEPA filter. You can get it on Amazon.com. The thing is when you get older, you're more susceptible to allergies also. Let's look at New York City. I never thought I was going to get allergies. My sister, other people in my family have really bad allergies to cats and everything else. Yeah, damp and mold. When I get wet mold, it just does a number on me. And I like to the point where I've even had to say, sorry guys, my nose is like, it's, before they found out, yeah, it's a mole and spores. But before I got diagnosed and didn't know what it was, I didn't know what to do. But Now it's gotten a lot better because I know I'm doing what they said, but I still play with my garden without wearing my mask sometimes. And if I do that, then I will have a reaction. The state of New York is going to fund the arts. They're going to I'll tell you what's going to happen to New York. It looks like they're going to be funding the arts to get the theaters back open again. They're going to start funding them. That's the answer. Be patient. Patience over New York. It's going to go very, very slow. Love, creative, healing. They're going to start funding things. Yeah, they're going to attempt to heal the city. It's very, very slow and very, very frugal, right? You're worried about the businesses. What I like about this is that there's an attempt to fund arts and fund things. It's a little controversial, though. People are angry that some businesses are not getting the support they need from New York. They're trying to fund things which will attract future tourism, and that's why the theater and other tourist attractions will probably be funded by the state to reopen. That's what I'm seeing. But it's slow. It's going to take a long time to rebuild New York because unfortunately a lot of businesses shut down. A lot of people just weren't able to hold on. You know, there's a lot of loss. Yeah. It's kind of nice, though, that they're going to be running all these art programs, the state of New York, to try and draw more attention. That's what it looked like. I use a 12-card spread and a 3-card Monty. I call it the 3-card Monty. The 12-card spread is a Celtic cross, but with 2 bases. The 2 bases are the 11th and 12th cards. And that's just something I developed myself because I won't debate. Well, a lot of people use a base card, but the card under the base I started to notice was the karma card. So I started using it. And they've talked about a 12th card, that there was supposed to be a 12th card, which makes sense because you have 12 signs and you have 12 houses in Tarot, and if you had 12 houses in Tarot and a Celtic cross, just like you would have 12, that would make sense, right? So 2 bases. So the first is the base of the matter or the subject, or some people call it what's hidden. And then what's under that is your karma related to the question. I think Revealing Light, she pulls a couple. I think, yeah. Different readers do different things. I don't know what Cascadia subduction zone is. We're not doing private readings. All right. Let's see here. What should we look at? Who's a famous actor that everybody wants to know about? That would be fun. Any tips for hormone imbalance? Yeah, any drugs that have to be metabolized by the liver are going to make it hard for you to process hormones. That's why when women drink coffee, they have hot flashes, because the liver has a hard time metabolizing caffeine. I don't know what that is, Eliza. I wouldn't be able to. Brad Pitt. Ooh, Ryan Seacrest. James. Ooh, I love James Spader. Ooh, let's do it. Okay, Brad Pitt. How you doing, Brad? Oh, you make edibles. Very nice. Good for you, kitty. Enjoy them. May it bring you healing. And since it is your medicine, may continue to be a good medicine for you. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's getting married again. He's becoming a philanthropist. He's going to stay a philanthropist. He has to take care. Look at this. He's a potential new another marriage, third marriage. Look at this, continuing his philanthropy work. He has to take care of his health, physical exhaustion. Look at that. Oh, there's a part of him that's really, he hates disappointing people. He's telling me he feels terrible when he disappoints people. He's a nice kid from Missouri. Oh, it has to do with disappointments as a father. The pain. He's the thing that devastated him the most was being separated from his kids. It's really done a number on him emotionally. Just terrible for him. Terrible. This is somebody who's a dad. This is someone who's a father who should not be away from his children. It's just separated from the family. Look at this. It's pathetic. Like, it's like guys really need their families, I think of this as like the good leader, the good papa. Terrible. Wow, I feel so bad for this guy. I don't know him, but I feel bad for him. That's kind of sad. This is somebody, what I would say about this person is working very, very hard to be a good parent. And was devastated by the loss of their family. Just completely devastated. But looks like he will marry again. Wouldn't it be funny if he married Jennifer Aniston? All right, James Spader. Hubba. Actually, I had a crush on him and then I lost my crush for him. James Spader. Oh, Bugs Bunny likes James Spader. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on around James Spader, like probably because of the political situation, but he's a very calm person. This is not an emotion. This is a calm. When everybody else is screaming on set, this is the guy that's even. He's kind of like the Barack Obama of a movie set. You get that in no drama, James Spader. It's kind of like he's got that kind of energy to him, very peaceful. But around him, look at Hollywood, just the COVID, just absolute insanity. But he's very stable in the chaos. Knight of Cups, continuing projects. He's going to continue working. Yeah, going back to his old loves, healing the situation. He presents as very good on sets. Yeah, COVID is shutting down the sets. Look at that. Hollywood had to shut their sets down again. They went back to work, and then what happened? Damn. Yeah, this is COVID. Look at this, shutting down the sets. This guy is really solid in a work environment. Look at that. This guy has really become a very solid employee. They're I'll tell you, the studios are losing a ton of money. Look at that. Damn. They're having to shut down production, and it's a nightmare. This is looking like he was shooting something. He may have been a producer on it and a star of it. They were shooting. It might have been a season, a TV show or something like that. Evidently, it looks like it was shut down possibly due to COVID. You can see this happens. Worrying about the money. I think he may have been a producer, executive producer on some project. And then you can see here, it gets disrupted and then starts again. And then the Hierophant, he's trying to keep everything calm. So that's what's going on with James Spader. Yeah, Tom Cruise was, yeah, and I know that they're losing money. Also, a lot of actors are walking off the sets. I know people who work on set because I used to live there, and just people that do this every day, like the costume people and stuff, and they don't know if they're going to work from day to day because they'll show up and they don't have work, and I'll say, why don't you have work? And they say, well, the actress walked off the set. She's not going to shoot because they're not doing ABC. So that's kind of how it's working. Okay, Tom Cruise. Let's look at Tom Cruise. This is fun. I get tired of always doing politics. God, Tom Cruise is getting married again. Is this going to be number 5? This will be his 5th wife, right? Or is it his 4th? 4th or 5th? He's continuing to make money. I guess his film's going to make money. He's doing great financially. Something about the courts coming up. Let's take a look at that. Oh, he's got a nice wife. Yes. Somebody who knows him, somebody who's known him for a while, somebody he gets along with, somebody who's possibly connected with him. Look at that. He's getting married. They did. I think that thing he was on, that he was yelling about, that they lost money. They may have had to shut down for a couple of days. You can see the same cards here for him on his set as what we saw with Spader. And then looks like he takes it. There are legal issues, possibly again because of if the actors have contracts, COVID protection contracts, they're probably trying to get vaccinated as fast as possible too. So there's legal contracts, legal issues. You can see a movement card. This is also my Southwest card. So it looks like they had delays because of COVID. I think that they're going to, here's the thing that bothers me about these cards. It seems to be suggesting that the wealthy and the rich are going to be able to get vaccinated. The actors are going to be able to get vaccination faster than the average person. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, it's every time they have to shut the set, every time somebody violates a code and an actor walks out, rightly so, everything gets shut down. They were making a romantic comedy, and one of my friends was one of the costume people, and I think they were supposed to do a kissing scene or something, and they had to shoot around it because of COVID. And then there were things they were supposed to set up before the scene, and something didn't happen in terms of security. And the actress said absolutely not and walked off the set. And this is like she shut the entire production down. So those kinds of, it was in violation of her contract. So she's not if they're violating the COVID safety, then they can't say you violated your contract if she walked off the set, and that's what she did. So so you can imagine the amount of money they lost. Yeah, my friends were behind the scenes. They weren't actors. Well, I had some actor friends, but I like the behind the scene people, and I like the costume people, the makeup people, the stylist, and they always have fun stories to tell. It's kind of nice. Who else was, somebody had said something. There was somebody else we were going to be doing that I wanted to do that was interesting. We always do Meghan and Harry. They're such a sweet couple. We'll do one more. How are Meghan and Harry? I love those two. So sweet. Such a sweet couple. I see a second son. I know everyone wants a girl. I see 2 boys. They're asking Harry to come back to do certain things. So he's being asked to go back and forth. You can see it feels almost like he's chained to his family. He loves his family very much, but you can see torn back and forth over the waters. You know, he's got that going on. And also it is a feeling of being chained to your family, the family business, or, you know, the joke when we went into the remote, what he had said when they gave him permission to move to California. They had said to him in the remote, what I heard them say to him is, don't embarrass the family. You know, there's that constant idea of, you know, you're going to go out there and it's going to reflect badly on the family if you do A, B, C. Where, you know, Harry's response was, well, you're doing a pretty good job on your own in terms of embarrassing yourself. So I thought that was a pretty good response. Then he goes into the business world also, Harry and Meghan. She's helping him learn about production, film, etc. But boy, his relationship, there are certain family members where it may be over because of the choices that they made. We've talked about this in the past with Harry and Meghan, that you're not taking a political position when you renounce eugenics and racism. And, you know, unfortunately, it meant that Harry ended a lot of relationships. You know, it's over, these relationships. It's just very sad. In terms of back and forth with his family, there's a part of him that feels like it can't continue on like this. It's not sustainable. You know, this is not a sustainable situation. And the truth of the matter is, it's not him and his wife's problem. It's the British royal family's problem. It's the problem of the Tories. It's the problem of racism in Britain, which they should have dealt with a long time ago. So it's really put, I think, Harry in a situation where he really has no choice. It's over. The relationship has to end. He goes into the business world. See, I always see him teaching, and he's very, very interested in child development. He's really fascinated with how a child's brain develops and ensuring that a child, you know, how we can ensure that children don't have mental health challenges, because he himself has complex post-traumatic stress disorder. He's talked about that. There's more crap coming out about the royal family. There's another big bomb that's about to drop, either film footage or, gee, it's always something with them. Jeez Louise. It's the royals. Look at that. More crap coming. Look at his response. Look at this. This is him in response to this crap coming out about you know, you're telling me not to embarrass the family? Deal with yourselves, you know, like, dang. And then, you know, I got to get away from this. Look at this. It's just all negative with his family. I don't think there's any way you could spin it as positive. His uncle's a pervert. You know, it's like, you know, it's perverts and racists. God, who would want to be around that? So you got money and a title, who cares? You're a horrible person. I wouldn't want to be around you either. It's just sad to see William going. I think it's very painful for Harry when you go into this energy that, wow, you really have disappointed me and this family with your silence. Your silence speaks volumes, William. It's probably irreparable now, and that's very sad. Yes, she will be. Meghan's a lovely woman. So she's very, very well loved in LA. Her and her mom are very active. They're community organizers, anti-hunger programs like the Angel Network program, Bernie Sanders supporters. They're liberal, they're progressive. If you're a liberal, progressive Bernie supporter and you're trying and you really do want to make things better, and your mom is involved with anti-hunger programs in the United States, and you're concerned about children of color not getting adequate education, persecution, etc., and you start dating a guy, you get set up on a blind date with Oprah to meet this guy because he's interested in early childhood development and a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. And you guys hit it off. You're interested in similar stuff. You fall in love, you get married, and then unfortunately you adopt these crazy relatives that are living in some delusion and have some very strange ideas about race and all kinds of things. Yeah, I would have packed up and left too. What happened? Oh, Keanu Reeves. He's a cutie. Good for you, one dominant. Oh, George and Amal Clooney. This is fun. Oh. George and Amal Clooney. I don't think they can stay in Britain. Doesn't she work in Britain or something like that? Is she a lawyer in Britain? Sun coming out. Tower. Their marriage is solid, though. Something's happening. I wonder if that's Britain. See, these towers and things I'm seeing, I don't always know if it's the personal life or what's going on in the world right now. Amal is working on a major international legal situation. It looks like there's some kind of international legal thing she's working on. That's a really big deal. It's like some major human rights project or something. It's an international thing she's working on. It's a really big deal. What is that? Wow, his wife's incredible. Look at this. She's got something she's working on. Look at that. She's got philanthropy and some kind of work she's going to be doing internationally. Actually, it's very intense. Clooney is having problems on work. It's the work sets. I think it's again the COVID. This is Clooney, and it's something about. I think this is COVID. Look at that. It's his work environment. This is his wife. This is her work environment. The guy has a lot of work. He's very successful, but his projects are very disrupted. I think it just has to do with COVID. Her stuff is she's building some kind of she's working on some massive international umbrella project that seems to be involved in some kind of aid program that's pretty incredible. All right, I think we're going to call it a day pretty soon. We've been hanging for a couple hours. People are starting to fall asleep. Really? Is that what's going on, Hope Green? I didn't have any idea what was going on with Prince William, other than the fact that when I got sent in, when I went in and was to the energy for his brother was saying, you should stand up for the values that you were raised with. And I was like, what argument did I walk in on? Because that's, so that's the rift. Harry's on the right side of history. Harry is right. Absolutely. Who was obligated to quarantine in England for 3 weeks because of COVID? Was that George and Amal Clooney? That would make sense because he had Harry. Harry's for whatever reason, Harry is really, really easy for me to read. He doesn't block me. I don't get blocked or anything. He talks very openly. Mary Hobbs, I thought, look, they're talking about Merrick Garland, but to be honest with you, Sally Yates has the strongest cards. I love Jimmy Stewart. What a nice guy. I'm burning out. Oh my God, look how old I look. Growing old totally sucks. We did do George Clooney. We just did George Clooney. Hi, Mark. We're doing celebrities tonight. We're doing a slumber party. We're hanging out and we're gossiping and talking about celebrities. Cher. I love Cher. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. She's awesome. Oh, she was Ruth? Genocide Muslims. You guys are awesome. You guys know so much stuff. You guys help me with the remotes because when I go in, I'm like, what am I looking at? Oh, I can tell you. He was doing it got delayed. It's like, oh, thanks. Oh, I just love it. I just love when you guys do that. When you do my research I just love that because I have to do it all on my own. Like when I did the remote with the Tennessee bomber, and he sent me southeast. When I found the gross location southeast, then I had to go and find Antioch. But I love it when other people help me do that. It's so much fun. I love it. Okay, let's look at Cher. Her personal relationships are not going well right now at all. This is somebody whose emotional needs are not being met. Look at this. It's unfortunate. 7 of Wands. Defense. I would say that this person's personal relationships are not satisfying. It's somebody who has fame and everything, but they don't necessarily have love. Codependency, work, codependency and work. And, a closed heart. I would also concerned about her health. Like she's becoming older, health issues that can happen with seniors, that sort of thing. Trying to take care of herself. 7 of Wands with an ace, with a magician card. But this looks like someone who could be becoming increasingly old, unhealthy, etc., and could be facing being old alone. And that's very sobering for this person. It's kind of like that Paul Simon song, "Who's Gonna Love You When Your Looks Are Gone?" when we're young and pretty, we just reject suitors and we do whatever we like. But then when we become older, then the fear comes in like, whoa, maybe I'm going to wind up alone. And that's kind of what comes up with when you go into shares cards, is this idea of marriage relationships, codependency work regarding a closed heart, trying to go smoother waters, grief about the past, grief about previous relationships, very defensive. I think this is someone who may have intimacy challenges. Yeah. Well, she's in her 70s now, isn't she? 60s or 70s? Madonna. Now I got that song in my head. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, you hear it from the... You know that song? Okay, Madonna. Now here you go again, you say you want your freedom. Stevie Nicks. Oh, one of her children is getting married. One of Madonna's children is getting married. Oh, thank you, D. Rose. Oh, my coffee fund. I appreciate that very much. How old is her children that they're already talking about marriage? How old is Lourdes? She's gotten really interested in research, learning, knowledge. She's actually in a good place. I mean, she's got scholarships. She's very smart. She has a very high IQ. She's got a nice star card there, but in relationship to her, probably her child was codependency, relationship issues, but possibly a marriage coming for a child. Her business, she's going to start working on other projects. What I like about Madonna's cards is, instead of woe is me, I'm not a famous person anymore, it's like somebody who instead is living a very rich, full life, doing something different. And this is somebody like knowledge. I know she's very active in like helping Malawi, but this is someone that's very, she's got stuff going on in the world that she's very involved with. Like this is scholarship, star, etc. So she's not upset that world left. In a way, I think she kind of wanted to move past that, and so she kind of let it fall away, because she's found she's moving her interest elsewhere. But she, rather than being an artist herself, I think she will fund other artists. This is about funding projects, funding business, funding other people. Interesting. Oh my goodness, so many people doing so many interesting things. Yeah, that's what I saw. Those were like cards promoting other people, and that the truth of the matter is, when I went into that wasn't a depressed person. Star card, scholarship, that was somebody who's like, whoa, fascinated by the big wide world and all this stuff that she's learning. And, whoa, don't you miss the stage? No, I kind of grew out of it. I'm actually on another trip right now, but I'll fund your career. Like I'll invest in this stuff, but she's off doing something else. Johnny Depp. You're welcome, Sandy Clump. Celine Dion. Oh my gosh, I want her to eat something so badly. I'm tempted to have her come over. I'll make her something to eat. She's too thin. She's a great singer though. Johnny Depp. Knowledge, right? Another smart guy. More movies. He's continuing to have problems with his ex. There's some woman here like an ex, and she's continuing to have issues with him. There's a project that's going to be coming up for him in the coming years, and he wants to win an Academy Award. And I don't think he has yet, has he? There's a project that's going to be coming up for him. This might be a while down the road, though, where he could finally win an Academy Award. The reason I say that is because when you feel this energy, this is someone who's an adult now. He's not a kid anymore, and he wants to make more mature films. He wants to do more mature projects. You know, the fact that his card started with scholarship. He doesn't want to do that anymore. A lot of people are growing up. Their cards are more intellectual, seeking light, seeking knowledge. It's like that was. They're now. It's like they want to do a very good quality, powerful work. You know, and that's what happens. It looks like he's looking for really meaty, good writing. He doesn't need to do a project anymore to just do a project. He wants to really. It's changed for him in the sense that there's this desire for something that's meaningful and challenging for him as an actor. Four of Swords, if you're reading it as years, it could be as much as 4 years from now. But I just see him wanting to do really good quality work. Oh, she does, Rudy? I didn't know that. I love Eddie Izzard. Eddie Murphy. Oh my God. You think I'm an egotistical Aries? He is the arc. If you look up malignant narcissist Aries man, you'll see a picture of Eddie Murphy. He is a classic Aries man, Eddie Murphy. They love clothes, Aries men. I see him alone. I don't see him with anybody. If he's married, what happened to his wife? Did he get a divorce? Is he divorced now? Is he alone still? I know he divorced once. Is he alone now? Oh, there's another pregnancy. Oh my God. This guy's like making everybody pregnant. Look at this. Juggling relationships. He's got a child trying to come in. A legacy. This can also be the child behind the veil. You see the woman's dress? You see the baby hiding behind the dress? This card can often be a soul trying to come in behind the veil. Look at this. It's like this guy looks at women and they get pregnant. How many kids does he have? Like 12 or something? He's married again. I know he was married. He got a divorce. His wife was a goddess too. Did you see the woman he married? His first wife. Oh my God. I mean, like he got a 10, right? Yeah, he's got 10 children. Well, guess what? He does. I bet he does make beautiful children. It looks like he might have another one on the way. The more the merrier. Eddie's Cancer? Eddie Murphy? No, I thought he was an Aries. And a typical Aries. That's what I thought, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's a Cancer. He sure acts like an Aries man. He's an Aries, yeah. She was a nutcase. Well, being married to him would make anybody a nutcase. God, all that ego. Have you ever dated an Aries man? They can't say I'm sorry, and they won't, because might makes right, and they have the power. And so the only way you're going to be happy in a relationship with an Aries man is if you have no self-esteem and you say, yes, dear. They can't say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. You were right, Whimsy. Yes. I was hopelessly in love with this Aries man when I was like 18 years old. And we knew each other for years. We stayed friends. But the thing I think that really ended our friendship, he could not say I'm sorry. He just couldn't do it. It was like he could make excuses. Oh, well, I did that because of ABC, but he couldn't just say, I'm sorry, Whimsy. I was wrong. You were right. He would have rather eaten broken glass. And I was just like, you can't have a friendship with someone like that. If I'm your equal and you're claiming I am, own your crap and say you're sorry. Be a man. I'm not your scapegoat. But with a guy like that, you always have to be this. And I was done. It's like, I'm out of here. He does? Oh, I was like, not everybody's like that, but I'm talking about like the stereotypical Aries. Like the joke is, what do you say about an Aries? Nobody likes you. You're annoying. You're pushy and annoying. Nobody likes you. That's the joke about an Aries. Nobody likes Aries. C. Cruz, you're married to an Aries. Do they ever say I'm sorry? Oh my God, Judy. That sounds like a nightmare. It's exactly like that. I'm an Aries. Okay, so an Aries woman with an Aries man. You got a war zone. They divorced 10 minutes later. But did anybody admit that they were wrong? That's the question. Not the Aries. What did I do? I'm an Aries with Leo rising. Moon in Aquarius. I know. I try really hard not to fight starfish. I try to be like, I know. Vegans are angry. I don't know. I'm not a vegan. I'm just a simple vegetarian. I mean, the issue with eggs, if you're at, like from a, I think that what the issue with eggs is in old times, they wouldn't know if an egg was fertile or not because they would just go pick it up. Like they didn't have, you couldn't necessarily, now today, commercial eggs, we know they're not fertilized unless you buy a fertilized egg. So I think that was why a lot of yogis didn't eat eggs because of what it wasn't just that what it symbolized, but the fact that it might have been a potential life. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to close. I think we'll call it a night, everybody. That was fun. Thanks for hanging with me. You know, I was kind of lonely. I missed y'all. I miss my gang. Y'all became friends of mine. I know Jeffree Stein. I'm so annoying. Hey, Raven Rose. The coffee fund. Yes. I will happily drink as much coffee as people want to send my way. I'm one of those people that can drink a lot of coffee and go straight to sleep. Who here can do that? Who here can drink coffee and go to sleep? Yeah. If I drink too much, but if one cup of coffee, it usually doesn't bother me that much. Thank you so much, everybody. Love and light to everybody. You know, you guys, it's always fun to hang with you. All right, we got it right. And thank you, everyone who's been doing remote viewings and sending me your heart-centered remote viewings. We're not having a class tomorrow. I was going to wait until after January 1st to start up again. All right. Love you guys. See you next time. Sweet dreams, everyone. Thanks for hanging with me. Night.